Hello again, I'm here with John Schlesinger from Atos Consulting, and I was reading recently about an architectural concept called Inside Outside on the website nextpracticeadvisory.com. John, Inside Outside, what exactly does that refer to in an enterprise architecture context?
We've known for a long time that you can separate a computer application, so some kind of function delivered via a computer, into two halves. So for example, there were some very good books published in the mid-90s on how to do that in Visual Basic. Right? So if the Visual Basic people know about it, everybody knows about it. And in the mid-80s, I worked on separating the application into those two halves when I was at IBM, working on CICS. So we've known that for a long time, that we can separate the application into two halves. So one half is the half that deals with the user interaction, that sometimes called the conversation with the user. And that's the bit that the user actually sees. So that's the bit that constitutes the application as seen by the user. And then the other half deals with what we used to call recoverable resources. That's the one that updates the database, puts stuff in a queue, takes stuff out of a queue, does all that kind of stuff. And that view of the application being split in two has been given a big boost recently with a new architectural style called REST, Representational State Transfer. And in REST, they separate the application exactly the same way, and they call the front bit the application and the back bit the resource manager. And I like that terminology, and I like the fact that it fits the web architecture well. So inside outside at one level is just saying, you can always split the application into those two bits. But when you do that and split the application into those two bits, you find, from the point of view of enterprise architecture, that it's the resource manager bit that is the subject of most of what you do in enterprise architecture. I'm not trying to dismiss the user interactive bit. It's just that my belief is that the role of enterprise architecture is to allow that capability in the resource management bit to go to wherever the users are, and not necessarily to have purpose-built front ends.
So the inside-outside bit refers to the piece of the IT provision that is susceptible or part of the focus of an enterprise architecture function. Is that?
What I'm doing is I'm taking that natural separation of the application into two parts and saying that's an inevitable separation, and it's something you want to do, and it's something you want to focus on for a bunch of reasons. So one reason is, first of all, it's the resource management bit that is the focus of enterprise architecture. That's where you do your scaling, that's where you do your integration, that's where you develop your new capabilities. Those are the services you say you offer to the world. Right? Whereas the user interaction bit, that's communication, human communication. It's really not particularly specific to the business you're doing, and it's really, although historically we wrote user interfaces hardwired to the resource managers, in the future those user interfaces are going to be delivered by people like Facebook.
So presumably then, by the focus on the outside bit being the communication bit, would your thesis be that email lies on the outside?
Absolutely, yes. What I'm effectively doing there is separating business technology from communication technology. So the broader view of outside is it's the set of communication technologies that affect the enterprise. So it is an enterprise architecture concern, but I believe that the role of the enterprise architecture is to enable it, not to provide it. On the other hand, the inside bit, all the resource management, the capabilities of the enterprise architecture has to provide that. Doesn't mean you have to go out and write it. You can buy in software or use software as a service or whatever, but you have to provide that set of capabilities.
So the focus of EA is very much on the inside bit.
Yes.
Is that fair to say?
So the role of EA focuses more on the inside than the outside, because my belief is that you have to provide the inside bit, but you have to enable the outside bit.
And the outside bit is less differentiating of an organisation.
Yes, much
and the inside bit is where the magic sauce occurs.
Exactly.
Brilliant. John, thank you very much.